Hey all, I thought I would do a quick video here on scouring sheep fleece. It's awfully windy out here, so hopefully you can hear me. If not, I'll see if I can redub this. But recently I bought a fleece locally from a producer here. Here's a piece of it. And it's not washed yet. It needs to have the lanolin taken out. So we're going to start soaking it out here in the sunshine. There's many ways to do this, but since I'm taking advantage of the weather here, this gorgeous weather, I've got some hot water in some tubs, and my choice for scouring is Blue Dawn and Simple Green. It's been I've been using it for years this way, and I quite like the results versus buying the really expensive scouring brands that are out there, which is fine if you'd like to use that too. So just going to mix that in a little bit into the hot water. And here I've already put a little bit of the fleece in. You don't want to overwhelm it. Learn from my mistakes. Put a little bit in at once, and it is amazing that you pretty much see that lanolin and dirt coming out almost immediately. And I will probably leave this out here to soak for a day or two, and then I'll change the water. It is a slow pot process scouring fleece. I mean, I'm sure there's a way you could do it faster. I've done it on the stove before, keeping even heat and keeping it all day, but I just don't have time for that. I'd rather just set it and forget it. So this is a lovely fleece. This is actually a mix. It's Romney, Corriedale, and BFL. I've spun all three of those, but not in a mix. So this will be interesting to see how it turns out. And the color is really, really neat too. You've got a bit of like a silvery gray and a brownish color, whitish color. It's a lovely, lovely crimp. I will go through in this post about what you should look for when you're buying a raw fleece. There's a few things to keep in mind. You can learn from my mistakes over the year of being attracted to the price of something and then ending up doing a lot of work afterwards. So the sun is in my face. Hopefully this is coming out okay. And I'll post up to the blog and give you the progress over the next few days. All right, it's been 24 hours. And we've had our fiber in here soaking, and it's really cool. I love this, where all of that lanolin oiliness just kind of comes to the surface and sits there. So we're going to go and get this water changed out. We're on septic here, so I tend to find a nice discreet place on our property to dump it out, and we'll assess where to go from there. All right, back in for its bath it goes. Now you'll notice, unlike yesterday, it was really, really brown once we put it in the water, and now it's kind of murky but not so brown, which is a good sign. It means it is getting clean. I always say that scouring fleece is much like rinsing rice. For those of you who've ever rinsed rice, once the water goes clear, you know you're in good shape. So I also was going to say, you don't need to soak these for 24-hour periods. If you don't want to, you can change the water quicker. Just for me and my schedule, this just makes a lot more sense to just let it soak in the sunshine and come back into the next day and do the next step. All right, 48 hours later, here's the progression on the sheep fleece that we are soaking. And again, it's really sunny out here, so hopefully you can see this. I wasn't home at all yesterday, so it's left in to soak for an extra day. There was a little bit of that oily residue on the top, but it was otherwise looking fairly clean. And if I touch this with my hands, it doesn't feel so greasy anymore. So I'm going to blast it with the hose and put it back into my bins with a little bit of vinegar, and we'll see if it's clean. If it's not, the good news is you can go back and restart the process again. This isn't very dirty, so I think it's going to be fine. There's a few more leaves in it from being out here in nature, not uncovered, but that's fine. That's also easy to remove. So I'm going to put it in. I think in one of my videos I accidentally said I was going to soak it 4 to 5 more times. I meant in total. So this will be the third time we're going to put it in with a little bit of vinegar to remove any soap residue, and we'll see if that will do it. Here we are back on the deck, and there's our pretty much clean fiber. Look at those. I absolutely love the crimp and the curl and the color of this. I'm thinking I may just make art yarn out of this rather than carding it flat, because it's just so gorgeous. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll be able to film as I create something with this, because it'd be really cool to see. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do with it yet. But anyway, let's get this in what I'm hoping is the final soak. Into the buckets here I have put a little bit of vinegar. That's going to help take the soap residue off. Learn from my mistakes. If you don't get all the soap residue off, you're going to end up with a gummy fleece. And gummy's not so bad maybe for if you're felting, but for spinning it is not fun whatsoever if your fleece is kind of sticky. So it's good to get that soap residue out. A little bit of lanolin is fine. I actually like a little bit of lanolin left in my fiber. If you know what fisherman's wool is, fisherman's wool has a little bit of lanolin in it, and that's what makes it waterproof for outerwear. Anyway, so I'm going to get this into the water, and we're going to let it set for overnight again, and we'll check it tomorrow. All right, here is our half sheep fleece washed, and I've now spread it out here on a clean part of my lawn to dry in this gorgeous sunshine. It's actually 2 days later. We had a really rainy day yesterday, so I didn't even bother trying to dry this, obviously. So we're going to leave it out here in the sun for a little bit, and I'll flip it a couple of times, and then probably this evening I'll bring it in, run it through my salad spinner, and set it up to dry downstairs in my basement. I have some drying racks that I set up down there for this purpose. We're expecting some just yucky rainy days coming up, so we're just going to dry this indoors. But for now, we will take advantage of the sunshine. So our fleece has now gone through our salad spinner to get any excess water out, and now I've put them on my drying racks in the basement. So these racks actually came from Zellers, if you remember those stores, Canadians. After the stores closed, we got them for free. So they make really wonderful drying racks. And down here in the basement, we have dehumidifiers set up. If need be, I can put a heating dome on this, but it probably will do just fine as it is. So I have it spread out fairly thinly onto the racks, and I'll come down every day or so and just flip it until it's dry. It takes several days, I find, depending on the environment. And that's all my garlic down there. It's been 2 years since I processed this BFL Romney Corriedale half fleece, and as you can see, I still need to do something with it. It's a lovely fleece, very soft. Check out this crimp. It will spin up nicely. This will be fantastic spun natural, left in the crimp, or processed with combs or a carder. I still want to leave this in its natural form because I adore the little curls. I will likely comb some of it out and leave some mixed in naturally. Either way, a funky art yarn will be fun to spin with this eventually. I've been storing it here in the studio in this breathable laundry tote, and it looks as good as the day I washed it. The only problem I've had with it is that my cat wants to take a nap in it all the time. Thanks for watching. I'll document how I spin this when I get there.